Hey writers, this is Lee Jessup, career coach for emerging and professional screenwriters, as well as screenwriting professor for the David Lynch grad program for cinematic studies. Here to talk to you about part 4 of my 5-part series, Pet Peeve Screenwriting Career. The pet peeve for today, pet peeve number 4, is all about showing up or not showing up like a pro. Some time ago, I got a call from a client of mine who was really upset that her manager, after turning in a script, her manager had called her and said that their relationship was ending. I knew the manager, so I decided to give her a call and just see, hey, what happened? Just trying to gain some insight into what's happening here, hoping the writer can learn from it. So I asked the manager exactly what took place, what had happened. And the manager told me a story just shared with me that the writer had sent in, they had been going back and forth on something on a screenplay they're getting ready to take to the professional space. The manager had given the writer some notes, especially about the ending, feeling that it needed to go in a different way, made some suggestions. And a couple of weeks later, the writer turned a new draft of the script in, and the end really didn't click. So the manager wanted to talk to the writer and said to me, which the writer then later acknowledged, that on the call to discuss what had happened with this third act and with kind of the wrap up of the movie, the manager said to the writer something to the tune of like, I know we talked about it, but it felt like you really didn't do the work. It felt like you just kind of wrote it out like we talked about and just kind of tacked it on there, threw it on there. And the writer went on to say, yeah, I know, I really wasn't feeling it. I was kind of phoning it in, which the manager said, the writer said, and the writer confirmed. And so for me, it's important to remember at all times that the career that you are trying to build, you are the one that has the most to gain from. And how you show up, whether it's with your representatives or with producers that you're working with or with executives, and to some extent with writing consultants, and other writers, speaks to the way in which you approach your career, right? So if you're phoning it in, if you are showing up to class unprepared because it just got away from you, listen, emergencies happen. I totally get it. Things fall through the cracks. I totally understand that. But this is your career. So it's important to show up like the professional that you want to be at every turn when that is necessary. Now, I'm a big believer that while we have close and social relationships with representatives, with producers, with executives, it is a very casual business. It is important to remember that this is a job, that this is a profession, and that the way that you show up in it at every turn, including at an event and at a dinner, all computes into the writer that you want to become and the writers that others expect you to be. And if you show up in the best way at every turn, more people will want to work with you, be excited about you, because they'll know they can trust you. Having worked with writers over the years, I have had writers telling me like, oh yeah, I know we talked about doing this, but I didn't really feel like it, so I didn't do it. Now, it's one thing to say, I don't agree that this should be done, or this is not something that I want to do, and I think that's totally fair, but I didn't feel like it, I forgot about it. I didn't really care. That's what it translates to. I didn't really care enough to do the work. I didn't really care enough to show up in the professional manner that I should. Having had the privilege and luxury of working with writers that went from emerging to professional and big professional, I've had the privilege of seeing how those writers show up for themselves and for their career at every turn. Now, it's not to say they don't have bad days and say, I'm not feeling it today. I'm just going to put a pin in it today and pick it back up tomorrow. And I think that's totally fair, and owning that is fair. But in professional scenarios, you always want to show up like a pro. So I hope you find this tip, pet peeve, helpful. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and there will be one last pet peeve in this 5 pet peeve series tomorrow. So check it out. Bye.